Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video of Pufferfish Gaming. Today, we are ranking NFL teams. This is a video I wanted to do, and the next video you guys are really gonna like. So let's get this thing rolling. I'm going to be ranking NFL teams by their season so far. I did this with the MLB. My Mariners did not make the World Series. They almost did, except the Blue Jays beat them, which is very, very sad. Alright, starting off with the New Orleans Saints, number 1 pick contention. The New Orleans Saints are they're terrible. I'm gonna rename this though. I'm gonna name it just trash, and I'll name some other stuff. Alright, here we go. I did next year made terrible trash. So we're putting them in New Orleans Saints in trash. Same with the Dolphins. I do not even think the Dolphins are close to making a playoff. Well, actually, I'm going to put them in terrible because they beat the Buffalo Bills last week, and that was actually insane. I couldn't believe that. Let's move on. The Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens. I'm going to put them in mid because they started off really bad. And then they worked their way up, and now they have Lamar Jackson. They have all their players back from defense. So I do think that they're going to be a really good team. But I just don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I think it's a little too late. The Bengals. All right, the Bengals. They're terrible. They don't have Joe Burrow anymore. They're just complete garbage. I just don't know. Their defense can't hold up any run game. It's just sad. Denver Broncos. They are playoff teams because they're facing against the Chiefs on Sunday. This is Thursday that I'm recording this video. They'll be playing on Sunday. So I do believe that the Broncos are a playoff team. They're 8-2 and they're leading their division. So I think the Broncos are also gonna do this. The New York Giants, they're mid. I'm gonna put them in mid. This is the reason why. Giants are not a bad team. They just don't have the right coach and right plays. They have really good young players. They just need to work out their offense. Their offense has been terrible recently. They haven't been able to get any touchdowns. I want to see them try next year. Minnesota Vikings. They are terrible. They're on the level of Bengals, Dolphins. The Vikings. I just don't know. They couldn't hold up the Ravens when they were terrible last week. The Vikings all they had to do was get a touchdown, get a 2-point to tie it up, and go to overtime, but it just didn't work out. The Rams, they are Super Bowl contenders. I don't like the Rams because they're in our division, and I want my Seahawks to win. But not go Rams. They are a Super Bowl contending team. I can just feel it. They're going to make this they're most likely gonna make the Super Bowl. That's what I believe. That's all I have to say about the Rams. Let's move on. The Buccaneers. Buccaneers are potential wild cards. That's actually a right spot to put them in. They're good, but they're not good when they have to get a touchdown or get a score or play good defense. They're not mid. They're not next year playoff teams. They're just potential wild cards. I feel like if they can just get a new quarterback besides Baker Mayfield, they'll eventually make the playoffs. The Detroit Lions, potential wild cards. I don't think they're like the Buccaneers. They're not good, but they're not that good. They're in the middle because their offense has been struggling recently. So has been their defense. I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're potential wild cards. Moving on to the Chicago Bears. Next year, that's actually a good spot to put them in. They are crushing the bad teams. Think about that. They're crushing the bad teams. When you crush the bad teams, you're not going to make it very far when you face off against the good teams. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers. Potential wild cards. They are right there. They're good, but they're not that good. They are an injury team right now. They have like they have a 50. Every team has a 53-man roster or 73 on field, but like they've lost like 20 of them. It's crazy. Most of them are their starters. Philadelphia Eagles. If there was a spot between potential wild cards and next year, I put them there, but I'm gonna put them in potential wild cards. Their offense has been struggling. Their defense has been terrible. They haven't been able to stop the passing game when teams are passing the ball. I just don't think they're potential wild cards because they're a good team, but like I just don't think they are a playoff team. Now moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders. Trash. I don't even have to say about it. Go watch the Chiefs game against the Raiders. That was terrible. Moving on to the Green Bay Packers, Karras' team. Here we go. Man, I don't know where to put them because they're leading their division. I'm gonna put them in playoff teams. They're going to the playoffs. They're leaning. Well, they're tied for first in their division. So, I do believe they are going to be a playoff team. Moving on to the Washington Commanders. The Commanders, they're mid. They're not bad. They're not good. It's just in between. Also, I just realized to put the Bears in. Or hold on, I'm gonna put the Bears in playoff teams, and I'm gonna put the Commanders in next year, and then the Packers in wild card because the Packers they lost to a very easy team 10-7, like the Eagles. They lost to the Eagles 10-7. That's why I put them both there. The Bears are leading their division. The Bears are, like I said, are beating the bad teams, but they have to beat the good teams to be in this spot. Moving on to the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are terrible. They allowed 2 fumbles against my Seattle Seahawks, and we destroyed them, which I'm happy, but like it was actually kind of sad to watch. Pittsburgh Steelers next year. That's a perfect spot to put them in. They're making the playoffs next year.
I'll be back.
They have all the good players. They're not able to stop points. They can get points. They can't stop the other teams. Their defense is just not good enough. If they can rebuild their defense, they're gonna make the playoffs next year. Buffalo Bills, they're playoff teams. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put them in playoff teams. They just had a bad game against the Dolphins. It was like 34-10 or 13. Like, obviously the Dolphins suck, but every team has a bad game, so I'm just gonna put them in playoff teams because they're already a playoff team. Falcons are mid. That's a perfect spot to put them in. The Falcons are they're a really, really weird team because they're good in games, they're bad in other games. It has to come down to like they beat the Steelers, and the Steelers are ahead of them right now in my little thing, my tier maker. So the Falcons just get to go in mid because they're not good, but they're not bad. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl favorite. Oh my gosh, I'm not even doing this to favor them. You know what? I'm going to put them in Super Bowl contenders just to make it fair because the Seahawks are destroying their competitors. They destroyed the Cardinals, even though they suck. They destroyed the 49ers. Well, they almost beat the 49ers in game 1 of their season. They've beaten their I don't know. I don't. They beat the Commanders, and the Commanders were pretty good. They're gonna make the playoffs next year. We almost beat the Buccaneers. We beat the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are pretty decent to be honest. So we face good teams and bad teams, and we are Super Bowl contenders most likely. The Patriots are playoff teams. Here there. They're playoff teams. I'm actually gonna put the Bills and potential wild cards because they're not doing so good in the AFC. The Patriots are just on fire though. They can't be stopped. They are such a good team. It's just insane. And look who it is, the Cleveland Browns. Trash. I'm not even gonna say anything. Texans are terrible. Between terrible and mid, I'm just gonna put them in terrible. The Texans just, I don't know. They just don't have anything going for them. Kansas City Chiefs, they're gonna get favored by the refs again. They're making the playoffs. I don't think they're making the Super Bowl though. That's gonna be it's gonna be down to the wire between the Colts and the Chiefs. Cowboys are just mid. I mean, they just lost a player who ended his own life, so it's pretty sad. But the Cowboys just overall, they're just not a good football team either way. And with the stuff going on, like I just said, it's just a sad but not good football team. Moving on to the LA Chargers. They are potential wild cards. They are good. They're good in a lot of games. They've stayed with their team, their opponents, from score to score. Even though when they've lost, they've had a really close score. So I believe they're going to be in the wild card. Moving on to the Jets. Nope. These are the 4 teams that are terrible. Panthers, terrible. I'm not putting them in trash because actually, yeah, terrible. They beat the Packers, surprisingly, so I'm going to put them there. We only got 3 teams left. We got the Tennessee Titans, who are going in trash. I haven't even watched a Titans game in so long. And then you have the Colts, who are Super Bowl favorites for me. I believe the Colts are making the Super Bowl this year. I believe they're going to beat the Chiefs, and I believe that they're going to just destroy their competitors coming into the playoffs. And then you have the Jaguars, who are going to make it next year. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I believe they're going to make it next year. To even things out with the NFC going to be Super Bowl favorites, I'm going to put the Rams in Super Bowl favorites because I believe the matchups are going to be the Rams and the Colts. I believe that's going to be what the Super Bowl is. But if you guys don't agree, make sure to comment down below if I missed anything that was bad. But these are all my picks for going into the playoffs because they're about to go into the playoffs. We're only 9 weeks away, so it's kind of crazy. But if you guys like this video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share to your friends or family. And we are at 88 subscribers. That's pretty cool. I do live streams at least once a week. You guys can catch me on either Tuesdays or Thursdays or any other weekend. I won't be going live this week or on or this weekend because I have stuff to do, so I won't be able. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.